Hi. Before going to video, please subscribe to my channel for more interesting stuff.
For Crying Nightmare Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Please check the link in the description box. Story from r/scared shitless. Episode 3. Posted by u/lord_tron13, Crying Nightmares, Chapter 3, Almost Close. First the Butcher Trio, then the Goblin Ringmaster, and then the Cave Mermaids. I wonder what the next world would have in store for me. When the doors opened, I was in an empty driveway. I walked out of the elevator and smelt the air. It smelt like rotting oil. I only saw a few cars and each one of them was either in fine condition or just wrecked, but I noticed something odd about these vehicles. The damaged parts seemed to have some red liquid splattered all over them. Then it hit me. The cars were bleeding. I soon noticed an escalator in the center. I ran up to it but I tripped, almost falling to my face. I looked to see what I had tripped on. Oh god. Of course it had to be a fucking body. It looked like it was ran over multiple times. I nervously looked at the cars. Then a beam of light suddenly came out, almost blinding me. I glanced at it and realized it was a car. But it's not a normal car. I immediately ran up to the escalator as soon as I heard the tires making a screeching sound and the car charging at me. Thankfully the escalators weren't moving at all. I managed to get away from the car. When I got off the escalators, it seemed to have gave up and drove away. I got up onto my feet and looked at the place. Wow. It was a plaza. This brings back another memory, but it's a silly one this time. When I was 12, I used to scream whenever mom takes me to the plaza. Hearing my voice echo was fun until my mom had enough and stopped taking me. I also forgot to mention that the plaza looked deserted, as if I was in some wasteland. Then I noticed the large window you'd see at a mall. It was shattered and the sky was murky and yellowish brown. Yep. Definitely a wasteland. Time to stop examining the place. Time to search for a relic. The first place I went into was a clothing store that was near me. All the clothes were ruined and withered. I walked through the aisle and tried looking for it. Then it came to the conclusion it wasn't there. So I make my way walking out, but I felt something grabbed my right arm, very tight. I looked back and it was a jumper. Then a few more shirts started to hold me, eventually one of them grabbing my neck. I was desperately pulling as hard I can. Finally and thankfully, I ripped the arms after a few minutes that felt like hours. I was confused. First the car, now the clothes? Then I came to a shocking realization. Everything in this plaza will try to kill me. I was now dealing with killer items. The second place I went to was the food court, which was only 4 miles away. I could smell a ton of rotten food as I enter. I then notice a KFC just ahead of me. I went over there and hopped behind the counter. I wait. Did I hear something? A low growl? Then something walked out. Something that smelled good and bad at the same time. What come out of the kitchen was a golem, literally made out of fried chicken. I hopped out and noticed there were more coming. McDonald's, Subway, Taco Bell, etc. No, this may sound like a funny story, but I was scared for my life. I ran out of the food court and was now attempting to find somewhere to hide. Luckily I noticed a nearby Toys R Us. I went into the Lego aisle and hid behind a bucket filled with broken Lego pieces. But for some reason they didn't came. I noticed this because I didn't hear crunching footsteps. I got out of my hiding spot and looked for the relic. It was beside a few teddies. As I grabbed it, a bunch of teddy bears jumped on my arm, biting me with small teeth that felt like razor cuts. It was hours trying to find the damn thing. Then I noticed a yellow glow in the teddy bear aisle. I went over there and I finally found it. I shook them off and ran for it. While I was running for the exit, I could hear Legos and other toys coming to life, pursuing me. Then I noticed that the metal hatch above was about to go down, trapping me inside with these toys. I slid my way out of there, Indiana Jones style, with the relic still in my arms. The elevator was 8 miles ahead of me, but then I heard metal creaking. Oh shit. Now the whole plaza is going to kill me. I ran for the elevator, jumping onto each crawling table. I jumped into the elevator, literally. I felt exhausted as if I ran in a marathon. I pressed 5 and waited for 16 minutes. As I waited, I suddenly fell asleep. As this happened, I had another nightmare. I was in a black void again. This time, I only saw the monsters I've encountered, the Butcher Trio, the Goblin Ringmaster, the Cave Mermaids, and most recently the killer items, but they weren't attacking me. They were just staring at me blankly. Then they started to glitch and I swore I saw glimpses of humans. Were these monsters used to be human? The loud elevator ding woke me up. I got up and yawned. Thankfully the relic wasn't damaged while I was fast asleep. The doors opened and what was outside looked like a medieval village. Please don't be a dragon, I quietly begged as I got out of the elevator. I examined around the place. This place was lacking life. Only darkness made its home here. Hey you. A muffled voice was calling for me. It sounded like it came from the left. So I turned to left and it was a plague doctor, all dressed in black, but something wasn't right with his mask. "Are you infected?" as the doctor worriedly asked me as he kept running towards me. "No, I'm fine." I called out to him, "You'll be in a minute," the plague doctor said with his voice turning demonic at the end. The beak literally opened, revealing rows of sharp teeth. It began to screech at me like an eagle. I sprinted to my right, but there were a few more, so I sprinted to the middle. I ran for 8 minutes straight. Then I noticed a large hole. It must be the catacombs. I hopped into the hole and surprisingly didn't break a leg or two. It was unusual because this hole might have been 10 or 16 feet deep. I could hear the footsteps and demonic insults. I needed to get away. Thankfully, I noticed a tunnel that would fit my size. I crawled into the tunnel but went quicker as I heard a couple of them jumping down into the hole, and they too didn't break their legs. I crawled out of the tunnel and was now inside a hall with lit torches. I took one of them and then discovered something unnerving. The sticks weren't made out of wood. They were made out of human bone. Alright, enough looking at torch handles. Let's find the 5th relic. I noticed that there were random holes in the walls. I checked each one of them but nothing was found. As I continued searching, I heard the same demonic voices in the distance. How the hell did they get down here? I didn't want to put out my torch, so I turned back and went right. Of course, they were more holes. I hurriedly searched each hole as the demonic voices got louder and almost closer. Finally I found it. It was orange this time, but the only problem was, the hole was long and the relic was far away, so I had no choice but to put out my torch and crawl in the hole to get it. Luckily the gem's glow was another light source I could use. After struggling because of the hole's size, I grabbed the gem but then realized I couldn't get out. Suddenly, I felt a long rope grab my knee and pull me out of that hole. It was the demon doctors. "Give us the gem and we'll let you go," one of them both politely and menacingly asked me. Over my dead body, I raised my voice at them. "Very well," one of them again said, with their normal voice turning deep. They opened their beaks and were about to feast on me. But the gem lit up in flames, scaring them off. Couldn't feel any skin burning. It didn't hurt at all. Then I noticed a light ahead of me. It was the elevator. I got my foot out of the rope and ran for it. The doctors were pissed and sprinted behind me. I began to notice that my pants were starting to fall down, so I had this silly idea. I took off my pants, only leaving my panties on while running, and they actually mistook my pants for me. What a bunch of idiots. I got into the elevator and saw the doctors eating my pants. When they noticed this, they all looked straight at me. What did I do? I turned around and wiggled my ass at them as a taunt. When doors closed and the elevator started rising, I suddenly bursted out laughing because of what I did back there. I laughed so hard I even farted a few times. I stopped laughing when the elevator opened to the bedroom. I got out and gave the man in bed his 2 relics. When he absorbed the yellow one, his eyes changed from foggy to green. "Where are your pants?" he noticeably asked me. "Let's just say a bunch of plague doctors ate it," I jokingly replied. When he absorbed the orange one, his voice changed from hoarse to British. "Finally, my throat feels better," he said in a relieved tone. He handed me over 2 more buttons, 6 and 7. 2 left and me and my sis are free to go. I got into the elevator, put the buttons in, and pressed 6. May God know what could behind the last 2 floors.
Thanks for watching. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe for more videos.